Welcome back to the channel. First thing I want to do in this video is I have of course, after I put the passenger's fender on, I haven't wet sanded or buffed it yet, and I also have a run in the passenger's fender. It's going to be hard to see, but I'm going to try to show it to you here. You'll be able to see it more when I actually start sanding it, but it's right along in here in the clear coat. It kind of runs angle ways this way, and it continues to right there. So I'm going to get a piece of 1000 grit and a little bit of water here, and I'm going to just lightly sand it so you can see the run, and then I'll show you how I plan on taking care of the run on it. I'll set you up on the tripod here so you can kind of follow along. This is just a piece of 1000 grit on a stiff block. With this run, it wasn't bad enough to really ridge up much. Even though you can feel it and see it, it's not one that protrudes out a lot. Right in here, there is a couple little knots, but I'm pretty sure the 1000 is going to take them out. Still got one little place right in there. This fender actually come out pretty slick, has very little orange peel in it. So I'm just going to run over it with this one piece of 1000. If there's any dirt nibs on it, then I'm going to go back with some 2000, 3000, and probably 5000, and then we'll buff it. And I'll do that with the dual action sander. Okay, I've got my DA sander. Have a 3/8 foam interference pad on it, and this is just a piece of 2000 grit wet dry paper, and that's what we're going to go over this with next. Plenty of water with just a little bit of dish soap. Like I said before, this is cutting sort of hard. That's why you don't see much white coming off of it. It clears pretty hardened on it. It is helping. see there how it's starting to get flat. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but there's very little orange peel in the fender, so it's not going to take a lot, but gives you a general idea there. All right, I'm going to go on down to 5,000 on this, and then we'll buff the fender. Hit just a little bit of that cow area, just enough to get the little dirt nibs off of it. I'm not going to try to go across the vents, because that would be a disaster. This will be the 5,000, and then from there I'll go to the Trizac 8,000. All right, I'm going to finish taping off these edges so I don't get over the compound, of course. Burn the clear off of it. All right, for this, I'm going to use these 3 compounds on this. This number 3, 2 and 3 I haven't went over the whole truck with yet, but I'm going to on this fender just to show what it does. But I'm going to start out with the number 1 rubbing compound, then I'm going to go to the number 2 machine polish, and then this number 3 is an ultra fine machine polish, and that's what, if you have any minute machine scratches, it'll take those out too. But I'll show you what it does here. Okay, so I'm going to start out with a blue foam pad, which is fairly rigid foam pad, and the number 1 compound. Still got just a little more texture. Now that LED lights playing crazy tricks on it, but kind of hard to see it, but lighting's not real good on this side of the shop. All right, that's done with the number one. Now we're going to move on to the number two. Number two compound on a softer foam pad. Okay, we're going on to number three compound. All right, you guys probably get the general idea. I won't bore you with any more polishing, but actually turned out better than I thought it would. So I'm going to finish on with this fender, and then next we're on to working on the bedside. Here's a recap of what we got done on the cab. So we got the filler panels in, the hood latch on, both headlights in, got the wiring cleaned up on the lights, both sides there. We got this door and fender buffed and polished, and got the cowl put on. Still got to put the screws, seals across here in it, but that's about all we like on that. So now it's on to the working on the bedsides. Okay, I'm going to start on this bedside. I'm going to start with the air file and some 80 grit. And I'm going to work on the area here at the front where the air file is setting right now, and see how straight it is across there. That was where I had the crease in it at, and had to pull that out and then put a skim of Bondo over it. So we'll see how that is. All right, we're high in this area here. This needs to come off a little bit. We're low here, so it will require a little more filler here. You can see that's starting to touch the metal there. And down here, it's a little bit high right in there. You can see that's starting to work in there. I had a couple high areas there I had to peck down a little bit. So now I'm going to block back over it and see what it looks like. I'm going to take a little die grinder and a burr bit and clean that pocket out for that light. So if any of you guys that watched the previous video, you knew I had a dent in right here that I ended up having to slit, pull out, and weld back because it was right on that roll and I couldn't pull it and I couldn't get in there to hit at it. So, and I think what happened when I did that, or when it hit there, originally it pushed all of this metal down, making this right in here higher. And that's why I was tapping that down, trying to get this down to the same level as this, and it just sort of pushed the metal that away. So I'm trying to push it back up this way, and then we'll probably still have to add some filler here because it is still low right in here. I'm going to hit across the top of this bedside with the air file. let you take a look here and see what we got. It's working down good there. Haven't started on this bottom yet, but it did start across the top. That was a place there that was pushed down. I pecked that down there. That place there is still low, going to require a little more filler. Had the same thing here, this dent right on this roll right here. When it hit, it pushes out right there. So I had to peck this down and peck that down. Low spot right there. A couple of little bitty places here. What I'm going to do is, I think I'm just going to get all of this blocked out. I'm going to just skim the whole bedside with what I call cake icing, the real lightweight filler, and then block off of that. I got a little bit more with the air file to do across the top here. Got a low area back here, right here. Probably going to put a little more reinforced Bondo right there because I don't want to use just regular filler. Take a chance on it popping out. But we'll take a little break here and let the air compressor rest and get back with it. All right, I've got all of the paint stripped off the top part all the way around. So I'm going to flip it over and I'll show you what I like on the back side, which is quite a lot. So here's the back side. I'm going to go ahead and get started stripping on it, see how much I can get done today. This is that old bed liner that was on it that I've got to strip off. All right, I'm going to stop this week's video there. Got a lot of carnage on the floor here and a lot of dust and dirt, what have you, but it actually is turning out a lot better than I thought. Still got a lot to do inside here, but it's narrowing down. I got most all the big areas. I've just got to get into these corners, try to get a little creative and see what I can find that I can get in them corners and get the rest of that bed liner cleaned off. But that side there, it's cleaned up a lot better on the inside than I thought it would. I'll show you the outside one more time. Okay, there's one more look at the outside. Still got quite a bit of filling to do, but it's not as bad dented up as I thought it was going to be. It's actually fairly straight for a truck. It's probably hauled a lot of wood and a lot of scrap and no telling what else in its day. It's not. It definitely was a work truck. You can tell by looking at the inside of the bed. But hopefully we can get it straightened out and make it look like something. Thank y'all for watching. Appreciate each of you that has reached out. Keep those comments coming. I'm trying to decide now on the wheels for the truck and what I'm going to go with there. But I still got the wheels I had on it, but I want to try to change it up a little bit. So we'll see how that plays out when I get to that point. But this next week, I'm hoping to get both of these bedsides at least stripped and in primer. Won't take much to get this one ready to put epoxy primer for the bare metal, and then I can go back and start doing some fine tuning on the body work on it. The other bedside I haven't started stripping yet, so we'll see how that goes next week. So, but that's pretty much going to be my work log for the next probably couple of videos, and try to get these bedsides and some paint. I'll probably go ahead and try to get the hood painted so I can get the rest of the truck finished up there too. So we'll see how all that goes, excuse me. So have a good week and we'll see you next week.